Testing the mic one, two. Yes, you read the title correctly. Your millions is in your purpose. Your purpose is the very reason you were created, the very reason you were born. You were not just born because your parents made love. You were not just born because they felt it was time to have a kid. You're not just here because it is 2025 and you just happen to be here. Every single one of us, 8 billion of us, we have something specific, something unique that we have been created for. Like it was the exact thing the Creator had in mind when He made us and sent us to this earth. And you are one of them. The only unfortunate thing about it is that so many of us would not actually know what it is, and so many of us will not work in it. And that is why the world is struggling. That is why so many of us are struggling. Because you and I, we are making sure that the world is lacking in the things that only us can do. Your purpose is supposed to prosper you before it prospers someone else. Your purpose will bless you before it blesses someone else. If you're struggling right now, if you're broke right now, chances are you really do not know what your calling is. You really do not know what your purpose is. You haven't figured out what your destined part is. If you figure out what your destined part is, if you figure out what you were born for, if you figure out what you were made for, you figure out exactly why you're on earth, why you are still alive in 2025, why you were not in 1860, why you were not there in the 1980 something as an adult, or maybe as whatever it is. Even if you were alive in those times, why are you not alive in the 1700s? Why are you not alive in the 1600s? Why are you not alive in the 1200s? Why are you not around the 23 BC or AD? Why were you not around there? I heard that they found life in other planets. Why are you not in other planets? Why are you not there as one of the aliens? Why are you here on Earth? There is nothing about you that is a mistake. Everything about you was predestined. Everything about you was pre-planned. From the parents you had, the family you came from, the culture you are from, the country you are from, how you look, how you talk, everything about you was pre-designed, pre-planned, divinely orchestrated from heaven. That is how unique you are. That is how special you are. You are not an afterthought. You are not a coincidence. You're not a mistake. The wealth you are looking for, the prosperity you're looking for, the blessings you're looking for, the abundance you're looking for, the millions you're looking for, it's right there in your hand. Whether you're Christian or not, there is a scripture in the Old Testament, a line in the Old Testament, where Moses was sent out to do the work that he was called and he was born for. Moses was born for just to liberate his people. And immediately they got there, he died and he left. The very reason that Moses was born, when it was time for him to get there, God told him what to do and he thought he didn't have anything. Do you know what God asked him? What do you have in your hand? And the only thing Moses could provide was his rod. That is how intentional creation is. The rod could just be another stick, but it wasn't. Because he could have been with a rock. Why was it a rod that he was with? He could have been with a machete or cutlass or a pocket knife. Why was it with a rod? And with that same rod, he was able to bring out water from a rock. He was able to part the Red Sea. He was able to design something that the Israelites was able to look upon and they were healed. Everything you need to create the prosperity and the abundance you need, you want, is right there in your hand. It's right there inside of you, buried deep. It's already there. Your purpose and your calling is different from your job or your career. It's not about your skills, it's not even about your passion. Sometimes what your purpose is, you have to go get skilled up for it. And sometimes the skill you have, the gift you have can help in serving your purpose. Your purpose is your life's work, your life's assignment. Moses knew how to take care of sheep, but his duty was to lead his people out of bondage to their home of freedom. Joseph knew how to interpret dreams, but the goal of all of that was to lead him to his purpose, which is to be the second in command in Egypt from a slave boy and be able to save his family and his people from a famine that will be coming decades after. Jesus was a carpenter, but his purpose was to live and die, and that his life and his blood will be the only thing that could save humanity. Peter was a fisherman, but his purpose was to be the rock upon the church will be built upon thousands of years later. Paul was a lawyer. He was a scribesman. He wrote books. He was a tent maker. But his purpose was to be the one who was going to spread the gospel to places where others can't even reach. There are some skills that you were given that could be used for your purpose, and there are some skills that might not even matter. It's good for you to have skill, but your skill is not the same thing as your purpose. It's good for you to have some degrees and your certifications, but that is not, it doesn't have anything to do with your purpose. It could be if you know what it is and they are connected, and if it's not, that's fine. Your purpose, your calling, is the assignment and the thought and the vision in the mind of God when he made you and said, this one, we are sending him or her at this time so that at this time, he or she can do this and do that. That is exactly where your abundance is. That is exactly where your prosperity is. That's exactly where your blessings are. And my job is to make sure that the world is bringing out people every single day who are walking in their God-given assignment, who are walking in their destiny, who are walking in their purpose, who know their calling, who know their unique gifts and unique talents, who know their zone of geniuses, who have built an iron-clad identity that cannot be broken or taken away. That is my purpose. In fact, that is part of my purpose. If you work with me, you can get to understand what purpose is, what yours is specifically, and the different levels of it. But most importantly, your millions is in your purpose. The wealth and the abundance and the influence that you've been waiting to build, that you want to create, that has been eluding you so far. That sometimes you might even seem to have lots of followers on social media, but you don't have the fulfillment. Something is still not there. There's an emptiness. It's the purpose part that is missing. Whether you want to build an ironclad identity, whether you want to figure out what your life purpose is, whether you want to use it to be able to understand how to create that influence for yourself, or how to be able to help people, but to know the exact gift you have to be able to help people. Because we can all help people, but we help people differently. And if you go help people the way I can help people, you will fail at it and you end up hurting them and also hurting yourself. If you want to figure that out, I'm going to leave the link in the description. Click on it. My program is destined, and you can read through it and figure out if it's something you want to be a part of. And the link to the calls will also be there in the description. You call, you book a call, and we can talk about it. If I get to know you and I figure out that, okay, you are a good fit, we can work together. The world is in need, in desperate need of what you have to offer. And your bank account will thank you for it. Bye.